Right, hello, I'm RobtheMod, and this is part 2 of the Halo Reach remaster on the Xbox One. Yep, Rebels don't leave plasma burns. It's the second part of the Winter Contingency level. And there's going to be some things that I'm going to do in this that are different than the original Let's Play. I mean, obviously it's not going to be exactly the same anyway, but there's things that I noticed I did wrong when I was editing together the full journey version of the original Halo Reach Let's Play, is on this level I actually cut out the helicopter ride for length, and obviously there's a lot of dialogue during that, and I don't know why I cut that out at the time, but I did. So yeah, that is something I will not be doing in this episode. I will obviously be increasing the audio for that purpose when we get to that section. Although, one thing I've also done, I hope you've noticed, is I've put the subtitles on. And that's a thing that I noticed during Halo Infinite. They were on, I believe, by default. If they weren't on by default, I turned them on very early on because I think... Yeah, if they weren't on by default, it was someone mentioning that like they do, like you can read the grunt dialogue and all that. I think that might have also been a reason. If they weren't on by default. Now that I'm thinking of it, I don't think they were. But anyway, yeah. I did that and I liked it. Because it means I can talk all over the dialogue and you can still follow the story and all that. So, because it's an option with Master Chief Collection, it's what I'm doing. Now, this remastered version of the game, I wouldn't really say it's that remastered. That's not to say that it's well, it's not 343. It's some other company that they've done on behalf of it. That's not to say that they haven't done a really good job. It really looks good. They have upscaled the textures and all that. They may actually be new textures, I'm not sure, but what I mean is that it looks a lot better, but it's... The main difference... I mean, what I mean is, when we go to Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary and Halo 2, you can clearly see a difference between the two versions of the game. You easily, I mean, the aspect ratio will be for one, because that wouldn't have even been in widescreen. Oh no, the Halo 2 was in widescreen, but Halo 1 was. Halo 1 was in the 4:3 aspect ratio. You'll easily be able to see the difference in graphics between the two games. This, you can tell that there is a... I love this bit with Dodge, by the way. It's just like, how did that happen? But, yeah, in regards to this, the graphics, they look better, but they look the same, if you know what I mean. It's not obvious. Now, maybe it would be obvious if I went back and I played the original version of Halo Reach now, but to me, this is in my mind what Halo Reach has always looked like, even on the 360. Now, the one difference that they've done, because I was reading about it, is, I forgot what it is. No, I haven't forgot what it is, I've specifically forgot exactly what it's called. Actually, because I needed to cough, I could actually just look up what it was called. It's called temporal anti-aliasing, and the original version of Halo Reach used it a lot. Basically, the original version of Halo Reach, it was 720p and it was 30 frames a second. This is 1080p 60 by default. It can go up to 4K on Xbox One X, but I say annoyingly, I will get a Series X at some point. Maybe by the time you see this I will actually have a Series X, which will be kind of annoying because obviously that's the slight downside of recording everything in advance. But yeah, I do want to get a Series X, but it on Xbox One X, Microsoft's naming scheme, for God's sake, is so annoying. If I had an Xbox One X, it would be 4K. but that might just be upscaled 4K, if you know what I mean. But that temporal anti-aliasing thing is a main thing with the original version of Halo Reach, because what it did is that if you ever looked in the background, the draw distance of Halo Reach on the 360 was pretty bad, and the background and everything was all blurry a lot of the time. And the way that's what that temporal anti-aliasing was about. It basically blurred the background, and also anti-aliasing is more to do with jagged edges as well, so it smooths those out. So they used a lot of that, and the way it also worked is that basically, if you imagine how, I mean, I'm not a game developer, but like, from this article that I'm reading, the way it worked is that obviously that would be a lot of processing power on the 360 to do that all the time. So what they did was that they sort of used the last frame to work out what it would be on the next frame, if that makes any sense. But obviously none of that is used on this version. So you'll actually know, so the draw distance has been expanded basically. You can just see a lot in the distance, and it's good in some ways. On the newer Alexandria level, it shows that level up a bit. That's the one where you're flying the, I believe it's the Falcon, I believe it is. When you fly the Falcon, you can... It basically made... The city was basically surrounded by a blurry cloud, and because that's gone, you can sort of see how terrible the background is, how terrible the skybox. It doesn't look bad, but it does sort of ruin the effect. Anyway, we're going to get this dialogue that I cut out the original first time, so I'm going to shut up now.
Noble 2, sit rep.
We're at the relay outpost. Door's locked. Mechanism's been flash fused.
Can you beat it?
I'll dial up my torch, cut the way through. Gonna take some time.
Okay. We're en route to your location.
Outpost.
Drop us in the courtyard.
LZ's a little hot, sir.
Put her down, pilot. 6. Breaks over.
Yeah, now I kind of understand why I cut that out the first time, because there isn't actually that much dialogue. A lot of that is just in sounds. But yeah, I left it in because it kind of ruined the full journey of this. Now actually, that's the thing I'm going to have to think about with the full journey, is will I render it at 720p, because those are very long videos usually, or will I just continue to render as these are in 1080p 60? We're actually going to get a bunch more enemies in a second. And there's a health pickup there, which I actually needed. But yeah, this does look great, don't get me wrong, it's a good remaster. It's just, if you'd put like if you put the 360 copy next to me, like 2 screens playing, which I could technically actually do because I dual monitor setup, but yeah, if I did that, it would it'd somewhat look the same. It's not the huge difference that you'll see when we move on to the Halo 1 anniversary and the Halo 2 anniversary. Halo 3 even. I'm honestly a little bit interested. The other thing that's very helpful that we'll see is when we use the night vision as well. That is better, I guess. I like how I'm saying I guess, but you know what I mean. It is better. We gotta run in to the outpost before we are killed. We were almost killed. There's also bits of this where I just let the footage speak for itself. I mean, I threw a grenade and I couldn't see who it blew up, which was kind of annoying. But we are reaching the end of this part as well. So yeah, thanks for watching part 2 of the Halo Reach remastered version. I've been RobtheMod, and I hope that you watch the next part. Ta-ra!